Everyone loves the aesthetics and beauty industry, but you never get to see everything behind the scenes. It's for authorized personnel only. But now, you're being authorized.
You're in the operating today.
Blow the dice for me. Put your pretty ass lips together, blow it real nice for me. Yeah, I'm trying to hit a lick and slide to the dealership in the morning. Wow, Papa need a brand new story. Hot head, they not gonna believe it, but check the recording. Ooh, just touch that, up a few bags. Big booty hoes meet me in the pit. Bar full of liquor, cash for the strippers. It's gonna get weird tonight, so no, just with some money to blow. I'm about to buy Las Vegas after this road. I'm about to buy Las Vegas after this road. Come on, 7, let's go. Yes,
Welcome to Naked Beauty Live. We have a great show today. Today, if you didn't know, is National Device Day. That's right. It's actually a day that we celebrate devices. Not sure who founded that, but here we are. Today is National Device Day, and we're talking about medical devices, especially devices that you can use in your home. We've got a number of great guests to join us today. We'll be talking about some really terrific devices. More and more these days, people are looking to use things at home, whether it's trying to improve your skin, trying to improve your hair, trying to reduce your hair, remove hair, all sorts of things that we would normally do in the office. And if you follow me on Instagram, you know me from social media, you know we've got a lot of devices. I've got a couple of guests coming to join me during the show that are also really big experts in devices. And between us, we probably own one of everything under the sun. Now, the devices that we're going to talk about mostly on the show right now are going to be home use devices. These are some of the new exciting things that we recommend that we think are interesting to use at home, things that you could use. Just buy them, use them in your house, and have the type of results and treatments that you might otherwise need to get in an office, or maybe just do something with the technology at home that you might not even be able to do in the office. Just things that will help you watch your health and help you with your look as you're going through your normal day-to-day, and you don't have to drag your butt into an office to have these things done. And these are real deal things. There's a lot of crap out there that people will sell that just don't work, or they don't work well, they don't do a whole hell of a lot. I get a lot of questions from patients. So what do you think of this, and what do you think of that? And we're going to get to that with my guest today, of things that you should watch out for, as much as things that you can feel really good about and using at home. So let's just dive right in on National Device Day, talking about medical devices. My first guest that I'm bringing on the show is actually our co-host today. This is Dr. Jason Posner. Dr. Posner is a board-certified plastic surgeon. He's been around a long time and is known throughout the industry, even for people that don't know people in the industry. Everyone knows Jason Posner, and they know that he is an expert in device. So, Jason, welcome to Naked Beauty.
Thank you, Adam. Thank you for having us on.
It's my pleasure. It's good to have you, and I cannot think of anyone better to spend some time talking about devices. So, today, National Device Day, the show is about it. The devices that we're talking about now are going to be the home use ones. And me and you, we both have tons of devices in the office and play with all sorts of things. There's going to be all sorts of new technology coming out all the time. Do you sell any home devices from your office?
We do. I mean, I think the one that we sold the most of over the years is Clarisonic, which is basically a skin cleaning system that people use to get rid of pores and other things. But I think the problem with a lot of the home use devices is if you sell it in a doctor's office, a year later it's available at every department store. So that's what happened. That's what happened to Clarisonic. It went to the Nordstroms and Neiman's and Bloomies, all that stuff. So
yeah, but
we don't sell that anymore.
But it doesn't make it as bad, any worse a device. I mean, still a great
good device.
Yeah. So
good device. It takes our profit. Takes our profit out of it. So it doesn't pay for us to sell it.
From a business standpoint, not so much. But the home devices that I've seen, it used to be, there's a lot of bullshit. I mean, frankly speaking, right? There used to get like one of the greatest examples, I think, is there's some light devices that people would shine on their face that they thought somehow was going to do something. The microcurrent devices that you get for home use, it's not really doing a whole hell of a lot. And it empowers people to feel like they're doing something, but it doesn't really improve anything.
Right, like the muscle stim devices that they sell are nothing like the devices that we have in our office. Like one electrode on our device, and you have multiple electrodes, is the same as that whole unit that they're using on the whole body. So,
Right. Yeah,
and,
that's
and
true.
again, we've been through a lot of this stuff, but some of the devices do pretty well, like the microneedling pens, things like that.
Well,
I think
interesting.
that there's definitely they definitely work a bit.
See,
The more you use it, the more they work.
we didn't even set that up. And so let's introduce our
Right.
first guest. Funny you mentioned microneedling devices and home microneedling devices. I want to introduce Joel Marshall, the CEO of Dermapen World, and he's going to talk to us about a home microneedling device. So Joel, welcome to Naked Beauty. Let's get his audio up. Just a second. Oh, they've been around forever. So Joel, sorry about that snafu. Welcome to the show.
That's right. Thank you. Is it working now?
Yeah, you're all good.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, we were the first ones to create a microneedling device back in 2010, and I think we've gone a long way. We've up to a fourth generation medical device now that we usually use in clinic, and that one actually goes down to 3 millimeters. So we're getting some really nice results with scarring, acne scarring, many other indications, which obviously have to be careful about mentioning in the US due to FDA clearances.
Yeah, so let's dispatch with that right away. We should say that the home use of needling devices requires that you only go so deep, right? For home use, it's only what is that depth, Joel?
We understand that it's 0.3, that then
Okay.
the FDA wouldn't look at anything like that or underneath that.
Okay.
So
So you're
we are
really
0.3 millimeters, so 300 microns.
yeah
300
300 microns. So you're really
Yeah, that's
just
a good
getting
depth, though.
You're just
Yeah.
getting into the
In the
dermis, right? You're just getting into dermis, and from a penetration standpoint, you're able, if you're using it in combination with topicals, if you're putting some kind of cream on top or ointment or whatever, it's going to penetrate better, and that's a lot of the reasons we use microneedling.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why we have looked at, obviously we could do all the in-clinic treatments, but we see how much better it is when you can also do boosters at home. I think one of the best examples of that is Dr. Des Fernandez, like the pioneer of microneedling from South Africa. I remember the last photo that I saw of him in his 70s, late 70s, and he would needle his face like every second day with a roller, right? But his skin looked like he was in his 40s. So it really does work when you do a smaller depth, but just do it on a regular basis. So, but we always like to preface that to say that this isn't taking away from the in-clinic treatments. We want to
No.
get those real in-clinic treatments,
Right.
and this is going to act as a boost to improve the results.
Well,
Now, are we allowed to sell anything that goes deeper? Like, let's say you had a Dermapen that went to 3 millimeters. Are we allowed to sell that in our office for home use?
yeah,
Good idea.
Well, this is the one for home
there you
use.
go.
So
Oh, I love it. I've seen it at meetings, but we don't
Yeah,
have any
very
yet.
cool.
So that's the actual home one. This one only goes to 0.3, and so it's not available in the US. We do have it in various countries around the world where it is going amazingly well, and we use that same approach. We want to sell it through the doctors to enhance the home results. So you guys will have the ability to sell this once we get some sort of clearance or okay.
And that's coming
Right.
pretty soon. We expect that early next year.
Yeah.
So
But I don't see why the FDA shouldn't be able to approve a deeper depth if it's through our office with a prescription.
Yeah.
yeah, I
Well,
suppose I'm not sure that that applies to devices though. I'm not sure you can prescribe a device. It might be. I mean, it might be a little different.
Or sell it.
But
Yeah, maybe.
even at 0.3, it's still a good adjunct. We're going to be going deeper. We go, like you said, Jason. We go even as deep as 4 millimeters with some devices. RF microneedling.
get on and talk about this because we're doing a lot of studies with coring devices to
Right.
take cores out, Elocore and laser competitor, and we find that the skin on the face is mostly like 2 millimeters thick,
Right.
except for around the mouth, and the necks are mostly 1 millimeter thick, and the eyelids are even thinner. So we've done a lot of measurements over the last couple of years with this. And matter of fact, I ordered a new ultrasound machine called Episcan that is very accurate. Really cool. I'll get you the info. You might like this, Adam.
Yeah.
If you look at a lot of the earlier treatments they used to do with microneedling, they used to go like down to 3 millimeters with the
Yeah.
rollers and be really
Right.
mashing up the skin.
Yeah.
And when they changed it and went shallower, they didn't see any difference in results. So you don't need to do that unless you got
You-
specific scar work you're trying to
Right.
work with.
Now, I'm going to preface this, okay? Off label, so you don't get in trouble with the FDA.
Okay.
Do you have any patients who are using like Latisse to help repigment white scars? Because I actually just saw somebody had a fungal infection, had some white area behind a Facebook scar, and
That's
I just did a little laser on her and told her 200 microns, so not too deep, and I told her to go home and put Latisse on. But if she could use this at home, I think it would be a very good adjunct.
That's an interesting idea because one of the side effects of what Dr. Posner's talking about is one of the side effects of Latisse is that it can draw pigment, and it seems to be almost a permanent deposition of pigment. We see this. Latisse is the stuff that you use around your eyelashes.
Bimatoprost.
Right, bimatoprost is Latisse is the brand name of bimatoprost, which is a prostaglandin analog that makes lashes grow as a side effect of a medication that was originally used for glaucoma, and the side effect being drawing pigment. Well, maybe you can use that side effect to the benefit, right? So
Derms are talking about this. Like I'm on a lot of laser calls, and they're all talking about this to help repigment. But it would probably be better. The problem is when we punch holes in the office, the holes are sealed. But you can make holes all day long with your product. I think this would be a great adjunct. I got to order some.
interesting
I
idea.
can tell you though, it's a combination of things for hypopigmented skin. So
Yeah.
it's not just the product use. I know they've actually had success with 5FU, but
Yeah.
what you got to do it's a technique. So what you want to do is if you've got like a patch here that's white, you want to microneedle that, get some bleeding, but then get bleeding in the surrounding area too. And then what you're going to do is actually move from outwards to inwards to try and migrate those melanocytes.
That's an
Now,
interesting
obviously-
idea.
So it actually works, but yeah, obviously off label.
Very cool. No, off label. But also maybe if you put the needles at an angle, because you can get the melanocytes to move a little bit when you're angled,
But you're also dragging them passively along with the needles. too.
dragging them.
So
Yeah, exactly.
that the real benefit of what we're talking about is using these microneedles to make the channels and get product in there. And so, Joel, you have what I think is a really exciting product for hair that you're now recommending, and a couple of interesting things. One, I want you to tell us a little bit about the soap that actually increases the color of growing hair, not just like tinting the hair with some dye. It actually
Let me
induces
click on that.
color to come back, which is interesting.
Yeah. So I mean, the major two ingredients in that soap is there's tannic acid and gallic acid. So tannic acid tends to work as an adhesive, so it I guess it adheres to the hair follicle, and then it also whatever you then put there, it'll also adhere to that. So when the tannic acid is in there, or the other way around, then that actually attaches to that through that adhesive, and then it oxidizes, creating browning, so creating color back into those gray hairs. So that's how that one works. And it's
How
funny,
long has
guys,
that been out? Wait, that sounds cool. How long has that been out?
we just released in the last
Just
like, 2
released
weeks.
it.
Yeah.
Because we have all these patients that come for laser hair removal with gray hair, and it doesn't work. And we've tried a lot of things, including dyeing their hairs,
Yeah.
to try to get the laser to work. But if this could even temporarily repigment the hair, the laser should do a good job of getting rid of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Well, people have used
Yeah.
carbon
I even-
preparations
I
too.
even found out that, Yeah.
Yeah, which don't work. We tried. That was the original. I don't know if you remember this, but there was the original hair removal laser was Thermalase, which was a Q switch 1064, and you would put carbon on your skin, and it would get into the pores, but it didn't work. It didn't work that long.
Yeah, but
It wasn't permanent.
it's crazy. We were the first people to bring that into Australia, and we realized it didn't
Really?
work.
Yeah.
Lost a lot of money.
What's
Then we
Q-switch?
started
What's
doing
Q-switch?
Palomar.
So you
Yeah,
have
I remember. Huh?
so you have the soap, and what was the other thing you were going to mention to us?
Well, it's interesting you mentioned Latisse because
yeah.
we do have a brush, eyelash and brow lengthener. So this is using exosomes to do it instead of prostaglandins or any chemicals. So we're not getting any of that discoloration. The retail on this is really good. It's 7 mil. It's double brush. So there's one brush on one side for the eyelashes, one for the eyebrows. So 3.5 mil for either side, and the retail's $99. So
Oh wow,
Very
really-
affordable.
Is that,
And
is that
the,
approved in the States yet or no?
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
one-
We
this one
have
is
it.
just like, yeah.
Bring it on, bring
Yeah.
it on.
Keep
Send-
selling
send
out
us
of
an
this one.
email.
It's
That
just-
sounds
See,
cool.
Jason, you're
Crazy.
learning about all new stuff today on Naked Viewer.
I love learning new shit. That's great. We'll
Uh,
sell that immediately.
So it's an
So
interesting
as-
thing with applying the exosomes as opposed to using the prostaglandin analogs, and it's a big deal when we're not drawing pigment because we're not so much worried about the stripe, but pretty much everybody that uses the Bimatoprost products gets a little bit of a stripe across the area that they apply it to. It gets a little darker. But the big deal is if it gets into the eye, it can actually permanently change the eye color. So people with blue eyes, you've got to be very careful about that. And I've always recommended products away from the Bimatoprost. I recommend things that are either protein related, exosome related, etc., that don't have that risk. Because if you have really, like my wife has beautiful bright blue eyes, I don't like her using the Bimatoprost products, but she uses all the various other things when she wants to get her lashes to grow a little thicker, a little longer. And so those are much safer. So that product is better, particularly for light-colored eyes.
Yeah, definitely.
And now you're using exosomes. It's not the only way you're using exosomes. So let's just, before we go, I want you to tell us about your hair preparations now where you're recommending, in combination maybe with the home microneedling.
Yeah. So this would be our in-clinic exosomes. So it's what we call HLA-G immune-tolerant exosomes. It combines that with PDRN, which is obviously a very big buzzword at the moment. So we use this in clinic for the larger hit of exosomes. But then obviously, particularly with hair, you have to be doing stuff at home. You have to follow a program at home to get real results. So we do have then a pre-shower mask. So this is going to remove all the dead cells. It's an antibacterial and an antimicrobial. This will also open up the hair follicles to absorb nutrients, which we then have with our shampoo and conditioner. All of these products have something called Sophora japonica in them, which is a 5-alpha reductase inhibitor. So that's going to help stop the production of DHT. So
Right.
stop.
So
hair falling out.
this is similar to how finasteride works and intended for mostly men and women with maybe male pattern hair loss. But I've actually personally been trying these products, and it's amazing. The mask is one of the things that I've not seen many other people using mask products for the hair, and it really makes the scalp invigorated. You feel the difference when you use the mask. It makes a difference. I think it's a great tactic, a new strategy for topical product. But
Thank you very
I'm
much.
excited to get that microneedling device in the office. I think a lot of people ask about continuing their microneedling treatments and to be able to do it. They can only come in so often. So if they can do something like this, especially, you mentioned, Joel, earlier for scars, if you can use it and apply it on a regular basis, you can make a pretty material improvement in a scar over time with just constant treatment. Really, I'm excited to get that.
Oh, maybe.
Okay, what's the difference between your high quality medically tested device and the crap that's available on Amazon and Alibaba?
That's a great question. Let's
Wow.
talk about it.
Very good question. Right. So we've tried to include similar technologies to what we have in the medical device that you're going to use in clinic. Right. So it'll look different here, but this is the only device, or the medical one is the only device where you can it'll measure the depth and you can change it with the touch of a button. So this one is 2, it's just doing it in 4 points, right? Whereas the medical one, it'll go all the way up to 3 millimeters. It's the only one that you can do digitally. And the value of that is that you can be very, very precise with your treatments. If you've ever seen anyone use any other microneedling device, they turn it on and they'll look down the end after putting in the depth to try and see where the needles are coming out, just to make sure it's going out the right. You never have to do that with this, right? Because every time you change it, it calibrates it. So it's going to give you the exact depth you're putting in.
Not to mention the quality of the tips. I mean, the sharpness of the needles and the consistency of them is completely different. I mean, this is a company that makes medical devices. This is not just a home device company. So I think it's a big difference.
Yeah, I mean, we in clinic, we try to teach the clinic to do a treatment in 7 minutes without anesthetic cream, which you just won't see
That's right.
in the device. So that quality has come through to the home device.
Well, great stuff, and thank you for giving us the time today, Joel. I want to.
Now, are you in Australia? Or are you in the U.S.?
Yeah. No, I'm in the US, in Miami.
Yeah,
Not far from Adam, really.
Oh,
Not
it's
far
I
from-
got to get
close.
you
I was gonna
next time. You
say.
got to come to the studio, man.
Yeah, definitely. I forgot the one last product though. This is the at-home tonic,
A
which
tonic,
we'd
yeah.
use instead of minoxidil. So this is the everyday one with the HLAG exosomes and PDRN as well.
And potentially useful for using the home microneedling on the scalp.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, hey,
Exactly.
Joel, thank you. Dermapen
Thank you.
World, DP Derm. Check out when it's coming soon. Watch for it in January. We're going to have the home microneedling device. So
So the US website is dpderm.com.
dpderm.com. Joel, thanks again.
Thank you.
Our next guest, also speaking about a really interesting home use device. This is something that I love and I use myself. I want to welcome Ryan Sirocco from Lumen. Ryan, welcome to Naked Beauty. Oh, give us. There we go.
There we go.
There we go. You got it going. All
Got
right.
it.
Hey, welcome.
Thanks so much, Adam.
Yeah, man.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. Now, Lumen, a lot of people might not know about Lumen. Lumen is a device that anyone can use to know how their metabolism is working. So give us the lowdown.
Yeah, so Lumen is the world's first and only portable device that can accurately measure metabolism in less than a minute. So, the company itself has been around for 10 years. 6 of those years were research and development by our co-founders, who are two brilliant twin sisters, both PhDs in physiology and Ironman athletes. And they started using the metabolic cart, which is really the device that spawned, this at-home product, which you can see right here. They started using it in their own, training to help inform what they should be eating and how their metabolism is functioning. And ultimately decided, let's take this thing and shrink it down and put it in everybody's pocket, so you can essentially carry a nutritionist around with you and understand how your body functions and what it needs. So that's how this device came about. Now, we've collected about 64 million measurements over the last 4 years that we've been on the market. Where before there's only been about 1 million collected through the cart. So, we are the world's largest and again, the only manufacturer of anything like this.
Well, you and I have spoke about that, where the amount of data you're getting with active learning is getting better and better. And it's incredible. I did not appreciate. Jason, have you ever heard about this, the Lumen device?
No, not at all. I want to hear more.
So
keep going.
I actually have one. Here's my Lumen. And I use this the most important breath is the one, we call it a breath, right? Because you breathe in and out of it. And here's a device. Take the cap off, just breathe through there and kind of put it in your mouth and you breathe in, breathe out. The app that it gets connected to gives you perfect instructions of exactly how to do it. Hold your breath 10 seconds, tells you when to breathe out. And it even knows if you've been moving that you've been too active, because it wants you to have a nice calm reading. And so if you've been moving around too much, the app will say, just wait about a minute. Let's measure you in a minute so we get a better reading. Really incredible device. But I did not appreciate how useful this was going to be. I incorporated this into my practice because we're using it with our weight management program. We have a new program called Live Well, and it's very comprehensive. And this is one of the reasons it's comprehensive, just adding a lot of technology to weight management and wellness. And I started using it myself because I'm patient number 1. And I had no idea how useful that knowing your metabolism was going to be. So what this does is it tells you how much fat you're burning compared to carbs and puts you on a scale from 1 to 5. If you're burning mostly fat, almost entirely fat, you're going to be a 1. If you're burning mostly carbs, you're going to be a 5. And then everything fits into that 1 to 5. It is so useful to know that. So tell us, how are people using, besides me, I could talk about this the whole show. But Ryan, tell me, how are people using their Lumen?
So Lumen's typically used to help people either manage their weight, improve their body composition, even build lean mass. So at the outset of your journey, during your onboarding, you're asked what your own personal goals are, whether it's healthy weight loss, focus on metabolic health, which is essentially weight maintenance, or just focus on improving your overall metabolic efficiency, or fitness performance for those users who want to either build endurance, focus on body recomposition, or build lean mass, like I said. So essentially, whatever your goal is, Lumen's overarching goal for everyone is to improve metabolic health through metabolic flexibility. So essentially, what we're looking to do by measuring the carbon dioxide in your breath, which is how we indicate whether somebody's burning carbs or fats, it's essentially to train your metabolism to be able to utilize both energy sources equally as well, and to shift back and forth between the two when you're supposed to. So, we're not some kind of gimmicky carb restriction type of plan. Essentially, we really want to provide your body with the energy source it needs when it needs it.
Yeah.
So, go ahead, Adam.
It's a really good piece of information to have, and it goes. One of the things that people said to me when I talked to them about it, and I said, "Hey, we're going to be using this thing called a Lumen. Here's what it does." Oh, it sounds like a keto stick. Well, it's not a keto stick. It does a much more accurate measurement. It gives you a better sense for what's going on, and the app that it comes with. I have my app open here. Let's see if I can show you my wheel. So this is my week so far, and you can see there's a 1 or 2 that I've measured in the last 2 mornings, which is great because that's mostly fat. That's mostly fat burning, and I can go back to my previous weeks. Let me see. How do I get to I go to my me bar and I'll scroll up. So here are the weeks from the past. Let's see if Joe can get that dialed in. There we go. And so 1, 2, the worst I've ever been is a 3, and it's usually when I've been up late and ate more than I should have, and I woke up in the morning still burning carbs. The importance of this is I know when I wake up, no matter what I've had for dinner, I can tell where my metabolism is. And, I've been trying to drop a few pounds to get into better shape, and this has really been helpful. It's one of the key points of my Live Well program. Now, one of the coolest things I want you to talk about is this here. Let me go back to the main screen. This is a camera. I can point this at any plate, and I can take a picture of what I'm eating. The app, using AI, will analyze it and tell me carbs, fats, proteins.
I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
You need to know. You got to
No
know.
way. Well, I'm drinking the Celsius. There's only 10 calories in this one now.
There you go.
All right. Well, there you go. All right.
So, wait, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Of course.
So let's say I'm starting on a weight loss program and I'm starting on some GLP-1 drugs.
Yeah.
One, how does this, if you're on the drugs, how does it affect the readings and basically what's it telling me? And then I'm finding that a lot of the people on these drugs are burning fat and muscle, and I keep telling them to work out. So can I kind of cheat and work in the back end and see whether they're actually working out or not?
So great question. So let's address the first. So, I would say through a lot of the partnerships that we have, like the partnership with Adam and other practitioners around the world, more often than not, people are pairing Lumen with GLP-1 medications because, of course, the GLP-1 medications are going to work. They're going to help people lose weight. Maybe not necessarily the right kind of weight at all times, right? We know lean mass deterioration is a big issue, but we found 100%. They don't work out and they don't need enough protein. It's both of those. So with Lumen, of course, we offer different daily goals. We help focus on lifestyle, which includes exercise, right? And we show you, and you can easily see when you're working out, when you're not. Me personally, the second I stop working out, my 1s and 2s start to go to 3s. The second I start working out again, I'm back in fat burn every day.
Well, and
that's
another
ultimately the goal.
important thing, though,
Yeah.
another important thing is you can check and see using the device. I played around with this a lot in the first week I had. I just tested myself at various points of the day, different times of doing different things. And, I check myself before a workout, and I check myself after a workout. And the device you can select when you're doing your testings, and it gives you advice based upon the results. It'll know, like if I'm saying, before a workout, I test myself, and it sees, I should be more in a carb burn before I go to the gym, because I want to have that immediate energy available. But then I also know that if I'm working out hard enough, when I get done with the workout, I should be more in a fat burn than I was before, because I should have burned through all those carbs and have a higher fat metabolism than I did before the workout. Otherwise, I'm not working out hard enough, right? And so you get all that information. And with the GLP-1s, insulin sensitivity or insulin insensitivity, right, is a big problem. And the GLP-1s increase insulin sensitivity. So you'll know if you use a Lumen before you start the meds, and you see what your response is to a certain meal. If you're used to eating a certain thing for lunch and you eat it every day, check your Lumen reading before you start the GLP-1s, and I promise you that after you start GLP-1s, especially tirzepatide, that you're going to see your fat burn is going to increase. The amount of carb burn is going to decrease after meals because your body's able to store that away and use it.
So yeah, you're much more likely to see morning fat burn, which is really the ultimate goal. Is that after an overnight fast, while you're rested, you want to see that your body's transitioning to using fat stores for energy. So when you wake up, you want the ones and twos. We have absolutely seen that with GLP-1s, the ones and twos in the morning have increased significantly, and we've also seen significant decrease in lean mass deterioration because of the protein recommendations and the lifestyle adjustments that are recommended inside of the app.
Right.
Adam, you ever try it on a Peloton? Like, it'd be interesting, like, if you do, like, one of these longer, I do my Power Zone endurance rides on Sunday, like an hour ride. I will bet you after an hour ride, I blew through all my glycogen, and I'm going right to fat stores.
100%. 100%. I go to the gym. I'm in the gym for an hour and a half or 2 hours. And when I first started, I would check it. And some of those threes are like maybe in the morning on a weekend when I'm about to go. I just had a shake or something. I'm about to go to the gym. And my carbs are tanked up. By the time I get out of the gym, I've burnt them off. That's what I'm saying. You see this. And what it really helped me understand is how I can train and manipulate my own metabolism. I can really see what I'm doing and how it affects when I'm burning carbs, when I'm burning fat, and it has made the world of difference. In the past 3 weeks, and I'm not using any GLP-1s, I've lost 12 pounds in about 3 weeks. Just, using this and other things.
Are you only selling this through doctors' offices, or are you selling it direct too?
No, direct to consumer. So we started out as a direct to consumer company. 4 years ago, we went to market, and we've been working with practitioners for about 2 years now.
Yeah, and it's
directly through practitioners.
It's a pretty complete
cool
solution. Yeah, it's a pretty complete solution because not only are you tracking your metabolism, but it makes recommendations based on the data. And that's what Ryan was alluding to earlier. Is you can get workout recommendations, the nature of the workout, and whether or not you're getting your benefit out of it, and really diet-wise. It'll tell you what macros you need, how many grams of protein, how many grams of carbs, how many grams of fat should you be having at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It gives you guidance, and then you validate that guidance by seeing your results by checking your metabolism. So it's a pretty complete, useful tool for anyone that's trying to know about their metabolism, know about their health, and the way it changes based on their diet. It's really pretty cool.
I think that's the most important point to make, is that Lumen is not just a monitoring tool, but we provide everyone with a daily personalized nutrition plan. Just like Adam said, we give you your macros each day to help train your metabolism to become more efficient. So when you wake up and your body is burning carbs, right, either because you put in too many carbs, your body couldn't handle it, or you got bad sleep, stress, hormones are certainly a major role in that as well. Right, so you wake up burning carbs, we're going to give you less carbs that day. Allow your body to deplete the glucose it has available to it and learn how to become more fat adapted. Once you make the transition, now we're going to increase your carbs and lower your fats to help train your metabolism to more efficiently utilize carbs for energy. So like I said, we really want to train each person's metabolism to utilize both of those energy sources. And we do it by every day manipulating your macros based on how your body's functioning. So ultimately, we learn how you function and give you recommendations based on exactly what you need when you need it.
And the key for me has been getting the data, knowing that, when I'm in a fat burn, when I'm in a carb burn, and why. Getting the insight really helps you understand, because everybody can tell you what to eat. Every diet plan will tell you, you got to eat. Everyone knows you got to eat better, eat more protein, eat less carbs. How do you know that that's actually the right thing for you? And how do you know that you're doing it the right way? Just check it. Just check it every morning. You know what your body's doing. It makes it so easy to validate that you're doing the right thing. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So Ryan,
Yeah.
I mean, of course, everyone could call my office and get one, but if they're not around and they don't want to order straight through us, tell me, where can someone go to get themselves a Lumen device?
Outside of your practitioner's office, the only place to get one is on the website, lumen.me. So you can go there. I believe we're running a sale that is over tomorrow. So tonight into tomorrow, I think there's maybe 12 hours remaining. It's probably the best time to go on and get one. Otherwise, call up Dr. Rubenstein and join the program.
That's right. Come join Live Well. You'll get a free one with our weight management program. But seriously, though, if you're interested in this and you are not going to just sign up for Live Well, or you live elsewhere and you want to order one, do it quickly, because not only is there is holiday discount ending tomorrow, but prices are going up. And I'm not trying to warn anybody. I'm just trying to give you a tip. If you're interested in this, get it soon, because it's going up by about $100, right? Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
So lumen.me. Ryan, thank you for giving us your time tonight. I appreciate you coming on the show, and I'll be using it every day.
Absolutely. We'll be monitoring. All right, take care.
I know you will.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah. We'll talk soon.
I look forward, man. Thank you.
All right.
I love that thing, man. It's become a part of my regular routine. And another device that we love in my office that we do provide is the laser cap. And I want to welcome our next guest, who's one of the pioneers, the guy that's been around forever, that really invented this category of light therapy, is really the leader in laser light therapy for hair growth. Dr. Michael Rabin, welcome to the show. There you go. He's got it going. Let's get his mic on, Joe. I don't know, Dr. Rabin, I don't know if you have yourself muted, but let's see if Mike, we're getting, let's see, we got you on this side. Yeah, I see that's going. Actually, hey, do you have mine going? I'm going to get one here. Let's see if we can get that going. Well, we're having some audio difficulty with Dr. Rabin. Just give us a sec. Check. Maybe you might have yourself. There you go.
Can you tell him to refresh Zoom or Ninja? He's frozen on my thing.
Well, he's live on, so he's not frozen. But see, I'm gonna get this on. Let me see. All right. Well, there, Joe. Let's get this on. Here we go. There you go, man. we got it. We got the bucket hat version here too. So, yeah. This is the bucket hat version of the laser cap. Actually, I know. I've got like the Australian thing going, right? Where's Joel? Let's see. I've got it's almost like the yeah. But the bucket hat. This is a different design. You can actually put this into anything. And this is the original. Now, Jason, I know that you have used. You guys.
Oh yeah. I'm a long-term user of this. This product works really well. What do you think?
But you guys have offered it in the office, haven't you? I mean,
Yeah. I mean, listen. I think talking about hair loss, and I guess when we put Barry on, Barry can talk a lot about this. But traditionally, we've always talked about male hair loss, and it's been the traditional transplants and everything else. But I really think the market is female hair loss. My significant other uses a laser cap. All the women have stressed hair from extensions and overprocessing and stress and everything else, and hormones, and they're always losing a little bit here and there. So I think these caps are a wonderful adjunct to other products to help regrow hair, especially in the female market.
All right, Dr. Rabin, do we have you? Everything on our side is working. You know what? Let's try this. Let me have you see if you could jump back in with the link, and we'll get you right back on. There must be some little snafu. So go ahead and let's go to the well.
Okay.
No, now he's frozen. So I think Michael, if you can hear us, why don't you go ahead? Put us on the. Me and Jason will talk for a little bit about this.
Yeah. We're always used to AV problems. Every meeting we go to, something's messed up. We're used to ad-libbing.
Well, that's how it goes. We're dealing with people connecting from all over the world. So, the laser cap is something that we've used for a while, and I actually find there's more and more evidence that red light therapy in general is beneficial. There we go. Now we got Michael back. Okay. Let's get him back up.
You should put, and Adam, maybe put Barry on for this segment, because he's done a lot of Barry's done quite a bit of work with the caps as well, far more than me. So
Okay.
if you let him comment, he'll be far more educated than I am
All right,
on
let's
this.
do it. So we're going to give a quick introduction to our. Just give me a one shot, and we're going to bring Dr. Barry DiBernardo. Dr. DiBernardo is also a board-certified plastic surgeon and a good friend, just like Jason, and has been around for a long time. And we're going to have Barry come on to speak with Dr. Rabin about the laser light hair therapy. And so let's. We're going to have. Let's as soon as we're getting Barry prepared to bring him on in the shot. Joe's working furiously behind the scenes to get this going, and we'll have Barry join us in just a second. But let's get, yeah, we hear Dr. Rabin. So let's get Dr. Rabin on. There we go. Okay, so we got all of us here. There you go.
Yeah.
All right, so Dr. Rabin, Dr. Michael Rabin, the CEO and the originator, right, of the laser cap.
Correct. I created it back in 2000, started the company in 2006, have been selling essentially the device I'm wearing since 2009.
Perfect. Yeah, well, there you go. And so tell us, how did you get the idea? Where did this come from? Because this is all the rage. Everybody's got laser light now for hair.
Well, it was a personal motivation. Hair loss sufferer for many years. Used to grind up my minoxidil in medical school back in the late 80s, mixing it up myself, rubbing it on my head. And I created Laser Cap Company. Actually, it was initially called Transdermal Cap Inc. in 2006. I wanted a better way to deliver minoxidil. And in 2007, I saw a de novo clearance of a Hair Max laser comb, a laser comb to grow hair. And I said, that's cool. What a terrible way to do it. I got to do a laser cap. And so I recruited Mike Hamlin out of Harvard, Dave Smith, an MIT optical physicist, and Bob Haber, who's a world-renowned a dermatologist, world-renowned hair surgeon, created laser cap, started selling laser cap in 2009 with this idea, is this going to work? I mean, scratching my head, is this really going to work? You know, I'm just the dumb doctor inventor. I wanted some clinical data. And in the meanwhile, the doctors just started buying it. The hair surgeons started buying it like crazy, even before I had a clearance.
Huh.
And so, one thing led to another. And, here it is 15 years later. And it's when I started, there was one other company called the Laser Comb. Now there's 50 FDA registered companies with photobiomodulation devices for hair regrowth. 45 of the 50 are knockoffs of my device. I call them my bastard children.
Now, Barry, you have you've done a lot of work with laser light. You're working with lots of different companies that work in similar technology, just like Michael's talking about. And what's your thought? There are a lot of these. I mean, you see them. You can go on Amazon, for God's sake, and you'll see 20 different devices when you look it up.
I think what it boiled down to was actually measuring the output of the device. So
right.
I'm going to say this, and then you can chime in. They all emit a red light, but that's where it ends. What you have to look at is how much power, energy, lumens are actually hitting the scalp, because one of the differences with this cap and then all the others is output. And I think you had done a chart, and you had like 10 different other devices, and you see these little blips of 1 watt, and then you get to laser cap, and it's 4 watts. So that's the physics behind that. We know red light works, but there is a quantum of energy that you need to do that, and that's why a lot of these other knockoffs are, I guess, unfortunately, the people aren't going to know they don't work. They're like, hey, they're going to do this, and everyone tells them it's going to take a long time. But by the time they realize they bought the wrong thing.
Well, right. And the thing is, the 4 watts, I mean, you're talking about 4 times the power that the average over-the-counter thing is delivering. And that speaks to penetration, right? That speaks to efficacy and penetration. So, Michael, tell us, how did you guys get there?
Sure. Well, unlike the knockoffs, we my initial approach was in the physician office. I'm an MD myself. We developed a prescription-only device initially, and then eventually we got an over-the-counter clearance on our device during COVID. Whereas all the knockoffs, without fail, just go direct to consumer. And in order to do that, they really got to manage the power and manage the heat associated with it, manage the side effects. Quite simply, they just put some lights in a hat, and they don't care what it's putting out. And the lower the power, the cheaper the light bulb.
Right.
And so
Well, and it's expensive.
together.
It's expensive to get that kind of power coming out of the cap, right?
Exactly.
There's a lot of light bulbs in there.
Yeah.
Exactly.
How many light bulbs are in your? How many are in your cap?
320.
This is 304 lasers, but it's not just the count. That's my big one, my HD Plus. It's not just the count, it's what they're putting out. So you notice I'm pulsing this. I overdrive the laser. And the business guys, they don't pay any attention to the medicine, the science, the engineering. They just put some lights in the hat. So I've got a circuit that overdrives the laser. I take a 5 milliwatt laser, I overdrive it to 10 milliwatts, significantly higher penetration that way. And then I have to pulse it for two reasons. One, to manage the heat, because I've packed a lot of lasers in about 575 square centimeters of area. That's 304. So the power density is high. I've got to pulse it to manage the warmth. Because when you pulse it at a duty cycle, it's 50% on, 50% off, so the laser can cool. And then secondly, there's a better biologic effect with pulsing. But the business folks are just lazy. They just want to go direct to consumer. They want to sell away on Amazon, and they don't want to be bothered with dealing with doctors. And you docs are difficult to deal with.
Well, at the end of the day,
I'm a physician.
At the end of the day, you're making a device that's got the highest power available, that has longest term results to show, and we know it works. So I recommend it, and I always tell patients. Sorry, Barry, I'll get you in just one sec. I always tell patients, to me, the big benefit of something like this, because we do a lot of hair. I say this is the one thing that you buy it once and you have it forever. Because once you have it, these things really never go dead in the time that you're going to want to be using them. They last forever. It's a one-time investment. You use it every day, or 3 times a week.
Yeah, 3 times a week. We've got various protocols, but that's generally it. And then we have a lifetime warranty policy on the device. First 5 years, no fees. After that, I have patients calling me 10 plus years out. We replace it, but it's at a nominal cost.
So Barry.
And that was, you said you're going to use this forever, and you do. There's no end point to it. And I'll tell the story. When I was at the hair meeting many years ago, I didn't know about laser cap, but there was this big booth and all that, and you know who I'm talking about. I bought those first, and they didn't have a lifetime warranty, and it just so happened I had gotten one of our very good doctors in town, one of these, and after like 6 months, I don't know, the battery pack, something broke, and then they brought it back to us, and then they're like trying to contact the company and like, we're not going to support. Yeah, I was very embarrassed. So that that lifetime warranty is important, because yes, nothing goes wrong, but when it does, you keep this for a long time, and you want to have the company stand behind it, as Michael does.
Yeah, and there's no cost to use it. I mean, it's once they make the investment, there's no disposables, there's no cost of running it.
Well, there is a belt clip power pack. This is lithium battery.
That's fair. So eventually, it's going to go dead.
So that goes. Patients will have to buy another one of these. This has a 1-year warranty, but it'll last a couple of years, and it's $75 to replace it with coupons. So it's
you're not nickel and diming anybody. That's basically the story. No. Hey, can you comment a little bit about wavelengths of your device versus other devices out there, and how that's important?
Sure. So the wavelength generally of these devices, the HairMax laser comb set the predicate back in 2007 using a 650 nanometer. Bright red light to grow hair. That's really all the predicates have been in that wavelength. There's another device, consumer device called Theradome, that I believe is using 672. There's a new device out on the market, I think from Capless, which is a guy who used to work for me, great marketer.
That's the name.
Does
That's the name. I didn't want to
yeah.
say it.
Well, he's done wonders for the industry. I mean, he's really raised awareness. But every time, if somebody does their research, they always buy my products over anybody else. But lots of folks don't do the research. So,
Well,
and then the doctors don't really want to. When they'll do the research, they don't want to deal with
I mean,
capitalism.
the
and
bottom
other
line,
things.
the bottom line is red light is not just red light. So we talked about the right wavelength. We talked about the right amount of power for penetration. To me,
Right.
I recommend the original to all my patients, what we provide in the office. Michael, Dr. Rabin, if somebody wants to get a laser cap other than calling my office to get it, where are they going to go?
There's two places to get it. They can come to the website, and I encourage all the docs selling laser cap to get all their patients to go to our website. But don't buy it there, because if they do, they're going to pay the retail price, $2,995 for this device. And that's the minimum advertised price that we have, at least in the US. We tell all our doctors, don't advertise below that price. That said, you sell it for whatever you want to your private patient. So they go to the website, they pay retail, they get it through the doc, they get a discount off that retail.
Right, and I always tell my patients that we can get them great prices on it. We get great discounts. But whatever you're going to get, if you're looking for laser light hair therapy, you got to go, in my opinion, you got to go laser cap. So, Dr. Rabin, thank you so much for joining us. I want to thank you. People can easily look it up. It's the one and only laser cap, the original. And remember, try not to get it on the website. Call someone like me and make sure you get it at a much better price.
Get it through your doctor.
That's
Thanks.
it. Thanks, Dr. Rabin. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Mike.
All
Thank
right,
you. Bye-bye.
so guys, now it's come time for a fun segment. We're going to do a device draft. We're going to be drafting new devices. Let's say you have an empty office, right? Knowing what we know, and we know a lot about devices. I often get asked by doctors that are starting their practice, hey, if I'm going to get one or two things, what am I going to get? So in your practices, knowing what you know, now you've got no devices. You have to pick new devices. You don't got to pay for them. You can pick them one by one, and you're going to pick your workhorses. What is it you use the most? What is it you want to have? At the end of this, we're going to do 3 rounds. At the end of it, everybody has 3 devices in their office that they have to use. And once a device is chosen, nobody else can have it. So you're going to do a draft. We're picking out of an endless warehouse, but the warehouse only has one box of each brand, of each device. So, Barry, I'm going to let you go first. What device is, what's going to be your number one? Let's get Barry up. Let's do the draft. Nope. Yeah, we're going to get you on. Just give me a second, Barry. We've got to reorganize this. Joe's got to do an edit.
Do you want me to start while he goes?
Sure, go ahead, Jason. No, Barry.
I
think me and Barry are pretty sure we know what your choice is going to be.
Yeah, you know what I'm going to do. I'm
you
an
go.
easy one.
All right,
so.
here we go. So
Let's-
Barry, you go ahead. You take
feel
your
good.
first choice.
I'm gonna mess him up.
Oh, I know. I might go.
I'm gonna pick the Saiton Millijewel with the Heroic and the Moxie on it.
That's 2. You only get 1.
Oh
You
no,
only
it's
get
1
one.
box. He's taking the Saiton
Okay.
BBL Heroic. There you go. We knew
No
we were going to have.
problem. No
Listen,
problem. No,
I didn't.
I wasn't
know,
going to choose that.
I didn't.
That would be
know-
my number 2 choice.
All right. Well, I didn't know what anyone's going to choose, but me and Barry were pretty sure this was going to be chosen by you at some point.
No, that would be my number 2.
All right. So let's find out. Jason, you're up now. So Heroic is
No,
off the board.
there's not even a question. Saiton TRL. That's my workhorse, my go-to full resurfacing laser. I do more of that than I've probably done more than anybody in the world at this point. I still use that thing every single day. I love that thing. So that's my number 1 choice. But you asked the question for different doctors what to buy. Like, we always get these questions. Actually, the 3 of us probably get more questions than anybody in the whole country as to what to buy. Right? Probably, right? And I always turn it around. It's like the Jewish answer. I don't just give an answer. I ask them a question.
there
So
you go.
my always question is like, well, first of all, what's your specialty? Where do you operate, in the office or not?
Right.
And then med spa versus no office. Because if you're going to buy a big box for your office, but you operate 3 miles away, that's not going to help you.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I
it
think
also depends on the flow of the practice, right? So Barry took a BBL. which is that's
Right.
pretty much universal for just about anybody, right?
Right.
You've taken the resurfacing, which is
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
pretty bread and butter, right? Okay.
Pretty better for me, because I do a lot of it. But for most med spas, I would totally choose what Barry chose. But for
100%.
plastic
Yeah.
plastic surgeon's
Yes.
office who
Who's
does a lot of
picking?
facelifts, operate in your office, TRL all day long.
Yeah. So in my practice, doing a lot of surgery, if I'm picking a device, probably my number one off the board is going to be Renuvion. That's probably the first thing I'm going to take because
Damn.
see, I took that from you, Barry. So you could have had it.
Yeah.
There it is. There's our
Because
Renuvion
we're
Apex
all,
one.
but all three of us are. You're asking three people who are pretty similar. There's
true.
probably no three people in the country that are like the more similar oriented than the three of us.
Well, there you go. But this is, to me, this is one of my workhorses surgically. Not so much
Yeah, we love
skin
it.
treatments, but I use this
We-
almost every day, certainly every week in the operating room.
Yeah, we love it. We love it.
All right, so now we got three of these devices off the board. Barry, you're up. Second round. What's your pick?
So now I'm going to go for in-office non-invasive tightening. I'm going to go SoftWave.
See, that would have been okay. So you got me back because I was going to take SoftWave
Eh,
later this
see
round.
that?
So you got me.
That would be
Great.
that would have been my number two as well.
Wow, look at
I
that.
would have picked. That would have been number two. I would have picked TRL, Millijoule, SoftWave. Those
Okay.
are my top three.
But now all three are off the board. What's your second round
No
pick?
worries. No worries. I'm going to take a 1064 laser. I'm going to take the Cyton 1064
Okay.
with the vascular component in BBL because I do a lot of that in the office.
So
And that probably Millijoule V, and that probably would be better for a derm office than a plastics office. But since we have a lot of devices, I love that device.
So tell people that aren't as familiar with the 1064 what
Right.
you're using it for.
So there's different lasers for vascular things. It used to be that you would use a pulse dye laser, which is a 585 and a 595 for veins. But
Right.
now we use this 1064, which is a low infrared laser, and you use it for bigger, bluer veins. So I use it for big veins, but also on this device is a BBL with 532. So I steal back the BBL from Barry, and you can do some small reds with it as well. So that would be my number two choice in the absence of Barry's two picks.
See, that's it. Once they're off the board, they're gone. And so now I've got the tough job of the last pick in the second round. And I'm going to go for in-office, not in the operating room on this one. And I love this device. It's a multi-purpose device, a box that does a little bit of everything, and it's the Rohr Spectrum. We've got a lot of stuff in that box, very affordable. Actually, this is the one, when I said people ask, well, what should you get first? This is one of those devices that I recommend because it does so many things. You've got long pulsed, you've got erbium YAG, you've got IPL. There's all these different applications. You have 5 different applications in one box. And, I really appreciate the versatility of the device. We can do a lot of things with it. So if I had to just pick 3 devices and that's all I'm going to get, this would be one because I get so many in that one box. Not in my office. I have a Renuvion. Now I've got a Renuvion and a Spectrum. That's all I get. There you go. So now round 3, you're up, Barry. What are you going to take? Let's see. So what do
Here
you
we
got?
go
You've got the BBL and you've got SoftWave.
Oh, I can answer for Barry there. You got to. I'm going to give you a choice.
No.
of 2.
Don't let him pick for himself.
After he goes.
No coaching
After
here.
he goes.
A device
Yeah.
is a device. A device is a device.
With the Tempture Envy, and the same device will also take care of our vaginal tightening as well. So we get a lot of uses out of that device. But I do lots of blephs in the office, any little excisions, and there's no heat because it's 4 million hertz. So you're cutting with energy, not creating heat. So we showed very, very little to no scarring in the studies we did with scanning EM. So I'm going to pick Tempture Surgical.
Okay, so we got Tempture, and Jason, now you can make your comments.
Okay.
If you want to comment what you thought Barry was going to get, you can say that.
No, I thought he was going to pick Pikachu because he does a lot of darker skinned pigment, or Halo.
I'm saying, I don't know how many rounds we're going, but I'm
This is it.
saving.
This is
You're done.
round
You're
3.
done.
That's it. This is third round. We're done.
All right.
Jason, go
I'm
ahead.
up next. So I'm gonna save some money. Okay, I'm gonna send my Cyton TRL back to Cyton. I'm gonna put Halo in my Cyton.
Wait, you can't do that.
All right. So if I can choose back again, if I took the first device, I would say my TRL. I would have added Halo to my TRL.
Okay.
Because that's the same box. So now I get a third free pick.
Sure, go ahead.
And I'm gonna have two choices. Depends. Okay. What I would recommend and what we use.
Fair.
Basically, boring as hell. I'll pick a hair removal laser just because we use it so frequently in the practice. There's lots of good ones out there from many manufacturers, Cyton Bear, G-Max Pro, the Lutronic Clarity 2, all good high quality hair. I think it's useful for the practice, but it's boring. If I had to pick something I like that's not boring, I would pick the Myriad device by Avava. A new non-ablative fractional laser does quite a bit of things, but it's new and it's not a lot of them out there. But again, for the practice making money, I'll pick the hair removal system.
There you go. That's a good choice.
What's your third choice?
All right. Well, this is it. This last choice of the last round. This Mr. Irrelevant in this draft. I think, I'm also going to go for what is one of our workhorses. It is not as versatile as the Spectrum that I chose in the second round. But since we got this device, it has not stopped working. It is a real workhorse, and patients love it, and it's clear and brilliant. We love that clear and brilliant treatment, and patients love it. It's a dual laser treatment, super easy to go through, short recovery. I mean, almost no recovery, and it really makes that skin pop. It makes it very bright. So clear and brilliant.
Tell them what you're treating with it. What are you treating with it?
Well, clear and brilliant is great just for a buff of the skin. It'll treat browns in the skin, and it's good for slight reds and a very mild resurface. It's kind of, I always call the clear and brilliant sort of like a polishing of the surface.
Have you played with the first device that Barry suggested? Have you played with the Moxie by Cyton?
Yeah,
so normally clear and brilliant is 2 to 3% of the skin.
Right.
With the Moxie, it's the same wavelength, but you're treating 20%.
Sure, you can be more aggressive with it, but the clear and brilliant is almost brainless to do. It's easy to delegate, and at that lower percentage of coverage, it's very well tolerated with almost no downtime. They look a little bit crispy.
I've done a lot of the 5 millijoule Moxies, very light, with no anesthetic at all and 0 downtime. So we're going to get you to do a demo on that. We'll convince you, and we can delegate it. You're allowed to delegate. You're allowed to delegate it in Florida.
He's going after Adam. He's going after.
I know. That's going to happen sooner or later. I know we're gonna be getting on that Cyton train. All right. Well. So that's our device draft. You guys heard what 3 device experts would choose. Now we're going to get to what would you get as stocking stuff. It's our last segment of the show. We're running a little bit over time, but I want to get to this segment. I want to talk about 2 or 3 things that each of us would recommend as fairly inexpensive stocking stuffer. A nice small gift, aesthetics related. What are people going to get? Here we are. It's the 17th. You only got 7 days before it's too late. And what are you going to get for your friends for Christmas? So, Jason,
Adam, is it a device? Is it a device?
It could be a home device. It could be skincare. It could be anything that you think, but it's something for home, right? Anything that you can use for home. So if that's the case, Barry led off last time. Jason, you lead off. What are 2 or 3 things that you recommend? We call it stocking stuffers, but something that's a nice small gift.
I am buying you a gift certificate to our med spa.
That's pretty selfish. All right, but if they want to,
like it.
Something
but seriously, the reason I was thinking about this is because everyone has a little different needs. I really think the number one thing you should take home from my practice is tinted sunblock.
Okay.
Okay. Everyone should be wearing that. It's inexpensive. It's got SPF in it. It's got a little tint. It'll cover any redness or anything. So you can get that with the gift certificate, but I was just joking. But I think tinted sunblock is anybody in the whole country can benefit from that.
That's a great tip. All right, so tinted sunblock's a nice little gift. What else you got? Give us 1 or 2 more.
Oh man. Okay.
This is a tough one.
So
This is
really,
harder than the big
really,
machines.
when you walk, no, seriously, but Barry, when you walk into the front of our med spa, we have all the products and things. I mean, I think depending on your age, I think skincare is number one. Younger patients, some vitamin C, older patients, some retinoids, but there's a lot of good skincare lines. Any products from our skincare lines, every man or woman should be on this stuff, and they would completely utilize it. So I really like that for lower price items. Now,
Sure.
if I have someone that I owe some money for that I really want to give a good gift, that's I love the laser cap.
Yeah.
I really think that's a great stocking stuffer. That's a little out of budget for most people
Out of budget.
for gifts, but it's a great gift.
Yeah. No, it is, especially someone that's
They'll have
pursuing
it for a life. As I said, Michael said, they'll have it for a lifetime, and it's a great quality product.
So, Jason, should I send you over a laser cap? Is that going to make you happy?
I got one at home. My other half uses
I
it
want to
all
see
the
if
time.
it's going to
I
work.
bought it from. I actually bought it. We weren't selling it at the time. I bought it from Barry.
Ah, see, there you go. All right, Barry.
You did.
What are your ideas for some last minute, nice aesthetic based stocking stuffer gifts?
I'm gonna change pace here a little bit, and before I get to the skin thing,
Leica.
I
You
think
want to give me a Leica for Christmas?
no, I'm gonna get to that. I'm
Cameron.
gonna get to that. I think orally, this is not vitamins, it's cellular nutrition. Jason knows what I'm gonna say. It's Healthy Cell.
Okay.
Healthy
Yeah, okay.
Cell is cellular nutrition. It's developed by Dr. Giampapa. There's the green one. Do you have it there, Jason?
Focus and recall right here.
You can do the liquid. We did a study that showed better absorption, but you take it morning, evening, you feel better, you think better, you sleep better. And I take it every day.
Bioactive multi.
He takes the liquid there, but Healthy
It
Cell, we
doesn't
give
hurt
it to a lot of the
liquid.
surgical patients. Wait, it's my turn.
No.
And then there's a second Healthy Cell. Jason, you have the orange one there?
No, I just have the focus
So,
and recall and the.
no, I'm serious.
multi-active.
This one, I call it the brain ones.
Yeah.
You take
That's
it
this
once
one.
a day, and
That's
I
the
can-
focus
I
and
can-
recall.
I can remember things from
That's this one, Barry.
I
Can
don't
you
know
see it?
when I
Focus and recall.
you know
Yeah.
you keep sharp. And then I said to them, this really works. And they did a study at University of Arizona Neurology Department, and they really proved all of that. So I take those. So those are oral. So I guess that's one
Okay.
choice.
That's a good one.
I'm gonna go with the skincare.
Mhm.
And again, it's dependent on what your condition is, but 1 or 2 bottles. We use under skin. It penetrates and doesn't sit on the surface and changes cellular function. But I would give them 1 or 2 bottles of that. And then the third thing, because now you're getting relatively in the inexpensive range for what I'm going to say, and that is the Leica Deluxe 8. You need a good camera, and you need a Leica, and it's coming in at $15.99, which is unheard of for a Leica. He has one, I have one, and you can carry a little Leica with you. So I'm going to say
Did you
stuff
get
it
your
with a.
email this morning, Barry?
Yes,
just
I
sent
didn't
you
look
an email.
at the
There's
upgrade yet.
There's a firmware upgrade to your
Uh-oh.
Leica. I just sent you the
All right,
email.
so these
Okay.
guys, you have to understand. Barry,
Big boy
Dr.
toys.
DiBernardo is a big photography aficionado, loves photography, is very much into it. So that's where the Leica talk comes from. But I think, the supplement idea, the liquid supplement is fantastic. It's a good way to give yourself a little bit of a boost. And it's a nice gift because anyone can use that. It's safe and it's applicable to just about anybody. And there's various versions of that to choose the effect that you're looking for, right? So if I'm going to go, let me give you a couple of my stocking stuffers. First of all, one of them we had on the show today, and just like Jason said, hey, get a laser cap. I'm telling you, get a Lumen. It's not expensive. You have a year subscription. If you get it now, it's more affordable than it's going to be in a week or so from now. It is, if you're looking to know your metabolism and stay in great shape, like I said, I lost 12 pounds in the last 3 weeks or so. This was a big piece of that. So to me, that's a great gift for someone that is kind of on that quest. And then another nice little thing is there's a new product line called Carmel Secretome that uses platelet technology. Platelets, secretomes from platelets, so it's all the growth factors, the cytokines, and the cellular messengers that are in what you would find in PRP. It's like harnessing PRP and putting it into a product. There's a little facial skincare starter pack that is a great gift. It's very affordable, and the products are so effective. So it works for just about any kind of skin type and will make your skin brighter, fresher in a pretty short period of time. I personally use it. To me, that is a really nice, simple gift to someone that they'll appreciate a lot. And then, I think that's it for me. I mean, I think I would also say sunblock, because if you're going to get any one skincare product, Jason already said this, and I concur. I think getting a sunblock is something that everyone should use, especially down here in South Florida. And don't think, if you're watching in Minnesota, where maybe it's snowing and you're saying it's cold, I don't need sunblock now. Actually, in the cold weather, people get just as sunburned as they do in the hot weather. It's not the temperature, it's the sun exposure. So make sure you're using good sunblock. Take care of your skin. So those are my stocking stuffers. I want to thank, we're just a tiny bit over time. Before we go, thank my co-hosts. I got Dr. Jason Posner from Boca Raton. I've got Dr. Barry DiBernardo from New Jersey. Guys, if people want to find you, in Boca, Jason, tell them about Sanctuary.
Just spsboca.com, Sanctuary Plastic Surgery, boca.com.
There you
That's
go.
our
You
website.
find everything you need to know. And Barry up in New Jersey.
We are New Jersey Plastic Surgery, and that is njps.com.
All right. Well, there you have it. These guys are international experts in devices. It's been a privilege to have them on the show. I had a great conversation talking with our guests and with my co-hosts. Next month, make sure you catch us. Next month is going to be a show on everything that everyone is going to make promises to themselves. New Year's Eve is coming. And we're all going to eat too much during the holidays. You're going to tie one on New Year's, and then you're going to wish you hadn't and want to get rid of all that weight. So most everybody is going to make a New Year's resolution. I'm going to get in shape. I'm going to lose weight. We're doing a show on wellness. We're doing a show on weight loss, and you're going to see that in the January episode of Naked Beauty Live. Watch us then. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.